planners and bullet journals, art projects, organized planner sheet.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first, I want to thank all my Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you guys so much. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Okay, you guys, during the week, I was getting ready to set up my pages for the next week, and I totally forgot that I was going to be starting a whole nother month instead. And I put this little calendar that I have been putting in the past on my weekly pages, a monthly calendar. So I was writing July in there, and I just needed to touch it up. Instead of covering it up, I decided to just go ahead and leave that calendar on there because, I am starting a whole month of July, so that's perfect for that spread. Just not the way I intended to set it up. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is flipping through my ephemera and scrap journal. I have a playlist that has this video in it, multiple journals for scraps and ephemera, and so I'll put that across the screen for you guys. And I was looking for a big piece of blue scrap paper, but I realized I didn't really have one in there. All of my scraps were blue I used to set up the ephemera journal, but I did have a piece in just laying around in another place, so I pulled that out, and I'm going to put that kind of as a background for a journaling card. So that journaling card that I had there is one that I used to sell. I created it, and I used to sell it on Etsy of my original art, but I don't have an Etsy shop anymore, and I really love that card, so I'm going to use it in this spread. I'm using my favorite Dollar Tree double-sided tape for this cardstock. I normally use double-sided tape like this, the really good strong kind, the permanent kind, for cardstock, and then I'll use a glue stick for thinner paper. So I'm just using that, and I got a little excess on the border, so I'm just trimming that excess, and then just pull the little plastic parts off, and I'll lay it down. And going forward in the video, because I'm using a lot of this double-sided tape, I just kind of cut out and edited me laying the tape down, but just picked it up where I was pulling the plastic pieces off. So here is that journaling card where I had already put the double-sided tape on it. This is a 100-pound semi-gloss cardstock that I printed it on from, where did I print that? FedEx, what is it called? What is it? I always want to call it Kinko's, but now it's called FedEx Office. Yeah, because it used to be Kinko's, and then it was FedEx Kinko's, and now it's FedEx, and then FedEx Office. So yeah, it's really nice, high quality, 100-pound. I think it's gloss, not semi-gloss, cardstock. It's beautiful paper, and so that's what I print all of my journaling cards on when I create them. And so now I'm using this stencil. I have a bunch of stencils. Some of them I got from the 99-cent only store. I got a pack of like 6 for 99 cents, and then I have some that I got from Walmart. I don't remember how much I paid for those from Walmart, but they were inexpensive, and I have a bunch of them. And so this one I think came from Walmart. I'm 99% sure this one came from Walmart, and I'm just using the star stencil to draw some stars around this spread, because every July my mind is on Independence Day, so I tend to do something that has to do with the United States and the 4th of July on my spreads for this month. So I'm just coloring in those hearts. I'm going to have some that are red, some that are white, and some that are blue. And I am using a Crayola Super Tip right now to color in the red stars, and then I'll use a blue Crayola Super Tip to right here color in the blue stars. And at first I was going to leave the white stars just like they are with just the thin, what kind of pen did I use? I used Micron. I just used a 01 micron to trace inside of the stencils, and I was going to leave it like that, but eventually I think I outlined them in red so they'd stand out more. And then this is another journaling card of my original art that I created of a bunch of different fruit, and I'm going to put that in the bottom corner because that just kind of made me think about around the 4th, where we have a lot of fresh fruit, watermelon, and everything as part of the celebration. So tell me also in the comments below, what do you do to celebrate the 4th of July or Independence Day? And if you're not from the United States, when is your Independence Day celebration, if you have one, and what do you normally do? So right here, my Crayola Super Tip was running out, so I'm using a Tombow, which is my favorite anyway. So for me, for the 4th, we usually barbecue, we usually grill, and we usually have some type of fruit. But I like watermelon just fine, but it's not my favorite fruit, summertime fruit. I prefer honeydew melon. I like cantaloupe a lot too, and I love me some pineapple. Woo! I love pineapple. So, but I have to not eat too much of it because it's super high in sugar. But I think my favorite one that's nice and sweet, but not, way too much sugar is honeydew melon. And some people don't like honeydew melon at all. If it's not ripe enough, it's not as good to me. But if it's perfectly ripe, oh my goodness, it's mouth-watering. Oh, and oh my goodness, I can't believe I almost forgot my absolute favorite is mango. I could eat mango all day long, every day. So fresh mango. And it's so funny I say that because I've never really overdone it on mango, so maybe I would get sick of it, because I remember the first time that I ever ate kiwi, I loved it so much. I just ate it nonstop for like a week, and then I got so sick of it, and I don't think I've had kiwi but maybe once since then, and that was probably 25, 30 years ago. I mean, isn't that crazy? I don't know why that is. So yeah, I'm going back over this writing of summer and July. So I started off with a Tombow dual brush pen. I didn't do any particular lettering. I just did regular cursive. And now I'm using a Crayola Super Tip to just go all around all of it. At first, I was just going to write around like the top or the base, kind of maybe do a shadow. But then when I started, I decided I really thought it would pop a lot better if I went around it with all the way around with the, gosh, I lose words in this video. These videos, the Crayola Super Tip. Okay. So now this is just turned out to be perfect in terms of the colors. This is a scrap of paper that I had, and well, actually it wasn't a scrap. I cut this out of a paper pack, and it was a cut apart or a cutaway, whichever you like to call it. And so I took that out, cut that out, and then I trimmed it to fit in this space, and I thought it was perfect. The colors were perfect. It said be free. We're a democratic nation, and so I decided to put that in there and thought that would tie everything up really nicely together, fitting right in the perfect spot. I just kind of bent it so it would be easier to make it tuck right into the crease where the spine comes together. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to smooth that out a little bit. Yeah, and I'm so happy. But then I thought there's still a little bit too much white space. It probably really isn't, but my mind was like, oh, I feel like those stars are just kind of hanging by themselves over there to the left. And so I wound up putting some all the way, well, I put some here. So I felt like there was a little, it just needed to fill in a little bit better here at the bottom on the left side. So I did that. And then this is where I went and outlined the stars that I wanted to make, or wanted to keep white, with the red. And I'm using the other end, not the brush tip, but the other tip of the Tombow dual brush pen, because I just felt like it was easier to go around the border that way, and with the brush it might make the strokes a little too wide, or I could make them fine, but it would take a lot more effort. So now I'm just tracing around the stencil to add more stars here on the right side, because I felt like there was too much white space, it wasn't quite balancing the left, but that was totally not necessary. It would have just been simpler, a little more conservative if I had not done that. It would have been simpler and a little more conservative and more minimalistic if I had not put any stars on the left side as well. And I think we would have got the whole theme, but that is not my style. And that's one thing that's really important when it comes to journaling, is just do what is your style, what makes you feel comfortable, what's a good artistic release for you, what's a good way to express yourself. I mean, it's about, you know, keeping memories of this time period in your life, but it's also about artistic expression, which is so important to me. So important to me just as an artist, but also for my mental and emotional stability. And I thank God for it, really. So yeah, I'm just going around marking the ones that I know I want to be read, which is sometimes I don't think to do, and which is part of that freedom of expression. Sometimes I like for things to just come together however they sort of choose to come together in the moment, and not focus so much on making sure everything is right and completely balanced. Just kind of whatever my mind is going toward at that time. But every now and then I do take the initiative to say, hey, let me work on outlining how I want to balance this right now. So I did a little bit of that here on the right, because I did not do that on the left. And so, yeah, but you know, it all comes together either way. And I'm just coloring in the blue right there. And now we're going to go to the calendar. So this is a calendar that I printed online, and there are tons of free calendars online. Just Google free 2020 calendar. I got this. I can't remember who it was from. I saved it on my computer and I renamed it, so I don't even remember where I got it from. But it was a free 2020 calendar for all 12 months, and they were in a PDF with each month was on its own page, and I just printed it as landscape. And it just saves so much time for me not to write out this calendar. And I'm just using my bone folder to help it fit into the crease really well, because I printed it on cardstock. And I'm just bending the paper and smoothing it to make sure it fits in there really nicely. It doesn't bulk up. Now I'm just going to decorate it with some washi tape. I have had this washi tape for a while. I got it, I think, from Michael's. You know, sometimes they would have near the register 3 for $1 washi tape, and this was one of them. And I encourage you to get those when you see such opportunities, because you never know when they're going to go away. And even if it's not that time of year, you know that time of year is going to roll around again, and it's just helpful. So there at the top right off camera, I put in my legend. And I'll fill in the stuff from the legend here in a little bit, but I intended to put that information where it says notes there near the top left, and I just blanked. My brain just didn't go there for whatever reason. And so what I'm going to do is just put my monthly summary there in the notes section. So this, for some reason, when I printed out the calendar this time, I think the first time I did it, I think I cut it at the line that's, how do I describe it? The outline of the calendar that you see right now, I think that's where I trimmed it. But this time there was another outline that I cut around to cut out the calendar. I hope that makes sense. And so it made the calendar bigger on the page, because when I did it last month, and this is the same calendar, I had more room on the right to write in a monthly summary. Quite a bit more room. So what I'm going to do this time is just put the summary where it says notes, because my legend was supposed to go there and it is not there. It's at the top right. So now I'm just taking my Tombow and using the other tip, the short tip, not the brush tip, and circling the dates, the numbers there, just to give it a little bit more pop. Not that it needs it, because you know this is a little bit of a busy spread, and it's about to get busier. Okay, so I'm putting in all my different things, my different, what do you call them, icons from my legend that represent all of my recurring activities. Yeah, and I sped that up so it wouldn't take 1,000 years, because it does take a while when you're doing it in real time. So I'm just putting all those icons, and then there's a couple of things that I actually write in, and I'm just looking at the previous month when I'm flipping there to make sure I'm putting stuff on the right days. that I don't mess that up. So I won't have to do a whole bunch of whiteout because I just hate to use whiteout. I'd rather create something else. Oh, there I am. I'm using it, but I didn't have to use it that much. And so, yeah. So I'd rather do something else than to have to use whiteout because I just don't like the way it looks. But that is life, right? We make mistakes and we have to make adjustments. And so here I am writing some things in that are the color that they're supposed to be according to the legend. Yeah, and so that'll just take a little bit more time. So what I'm writing in here right now is about YouTube. I'm trying to make some adjustments to how I plan, especially with my bigger projects. When I'm doing like Dollar Tree DIYs and when I do Plan With Me's, they take a lot of time. And not only does the filming and the setting up take a lot of time, but the editing takes a lot of time and a lot of thought. And so some of those projects, I need to start them a lot sooner than I do. Not because I don't plan ahead for them, but you don't really know how long a project is going to take until you do it. And each one, like each Plan With Me, is different every month. It's not the same spreads. It's never, even though it might be the same templates, the same ideas, the artwork, all of that is different every time. And so, I need to plan them a lot sooner than I am. Just even if I'm finished a lot earlier, then great. Just a little bit each day so far ahead sooner than I do right now, which is fine when it's something simpler. But when it's a complex project, it takes more time. So right here, I'm just doing my sort of monthly to-do list, and I'm doing it with brush lettering. And so this is sped up, I think, 3 times the speed. So that ought to give you an idea of how long it actually takes for me to do brush lettering when it's real time. And because I find that I do a lot better when I move a lot slower, because it's harder to do those really thin lines if I move fast at all. So I'm just putting a star right here and outlining it. And then I'm going to take my brush pen and just go around the top in red and just let it pop like that. I really like that idea. I've done that previously too, and some lot more minimalist spreads, but not this time. Okay, and so I am just adding another line there, and now I'm going to put in my lines for my columns, because I break everything up in my monthly to-do list by personal, YouTube, my Lucinda worships where I sing on social media, my Facebook, both of my Facebook groups, all Patreon, all of that. And so I'm just putting in those titles for those different categories. And I think it looks really nice. I think I did leave this one pretty simple. I think that was all I did on this spread. We'll see. My memory might be failing me. I did. Okay, there we go. Now I came back to my monthly spread because I was like, oh, because all my recurring stuff is on here. Nothing that's an appointment or something like that is on here yet, because I'll do that a little bit later. But I wanted to mark the holiday for Independence Day. So I just wrote Independence Day on there with a different color, blue Tombow dual brush marker or dual brush pen, and I'm coloring in a star and then just adding a little bit more decor. You'll see it a little bit better at the end. And now I am doing my gratitude journal, and this time I'm just writing thankful, and each time I write something different that basically means the same thing. It'll be like gratitude, thankful, thank you God, thank you Lord, all those different kinds of things I've written. And then I am tracing this one. I just sped it up this time. Tracing this one with the blue Tombow as well. Actually, did I trace? I don't think I traced the whole thing this time. Yeah, I did. That was what my brain wanted to do this time. That was what my artistic self wanted to do this time. So that's what I'm doing. And it'll just take a minute. It'll just take a minute. So tell me, you know, in the comments if you don't want to talk about the 4th, although I would love to know what you do with the 4th of July or your Independence Day. I would love to know. You can let me know, as I said, in the comments below. But I also like to know if you've done any unique, fun, special projects lately, anything artistic or creative. Let me know. And if you post it on social media, like if you have an Instagram or something like that, let me know and I'll check it out as well. And also, if you do any of the things that are in this video or any of my videos, be sure and tag me on Instagram so I can see it and celebrate with you. It's super fun. So here I just took a scrap of blue paper and I outlined it so that I would be sure and place it back on the page exactly where I wanted it to go. So that's why I did that. And now this is a scrap of paper from my scrap journal, the paper and this what I'm laying down right now, which I actually cut out of a newspaper sales ad. So that is an awesome place to find free ephemera sources. Yes. So, and I thought it would be perfect because it's the 4th of July theme. Even though everything's not exactly red, white, and blue, you know, it's good to have some variation in there. And so I'm just writing down 1 through 31 to put in what I'm thankful for each day. And then I'm going to add some stars on either end of the word thankful. And I'm just going to outline those in red. And then, yeah, and then I'm going to put some washi tape here because, yes, I am doing an over-the-top design for this month's bullet journal. So I got some stars, and of course I want to use them because I don't have an idea or interest in using stars in red, white, and blue all throughout the year. So that, and then this one, I think that stars was from Michael's, like $3 for $1, but this little skinny, beautiful blue strip is a set of skinny tapes from Dollar Tree. And now I'm setting up my weekly spread, and my head was all over setting this up, so you won't see me create a lot of the lines and stuff because it was just like my glasses look huge in there, don't they? Because of the angle. But I wanted to show you where I draw the line and cut this Dutch door, this design, because I did that for months and months, that method, and then I switched back to the vertical method, and now I'm going back to this method because the vertical method, I really do like it. It works, but when all those papers are folded at the end of the bullet journal, I mean, it's just so thick and kind of wears on the spine, and I don't want it to all fall apart, so I decided to switch back. So I'm just writing in some of the stuff that I put, and because I want to keep some of the style of my weekly spreads that I did before with a vertical Dutch door, but now I have this bottom vertical that's not accessible to all of the weekly stuff. I have less space to just kind of do artistic stuff. I mean, of course I'm going to put artistic stuff all throughout out there, stickers and stuff, but it's not as much room at the top. And here it is, you guys. Well, thank you. You'll get to see all the weekly spread as I flip through. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure and to share and comment. It really helps my channel a lot, and I love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you are interested in seeing all of my creative ventures and adventures via photos, then check me out on Instagram at Organized Planner Chic. And again, be sure and tag me if you want me to see stuff that you create, and especially if you recreate anything that I do. Also, I have 2 Facebook groups. The local one is called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ. And there we normally meet in person once a month, but because of COVID-19, we're doing everything on our Facebook page. And I love everybody so much. And then the one for everyone around the world is called Organized Planner Chic Crew. And there we do giveaways. In fact, I'll be announcing a giveaway here within the next few days. And then we also do lives and videos and, you know, all that good stuff, and try to stay in touch just about every other day. And if you are interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, happy planning!